Well, hello, Canada. Bonjour. How's everyone feeling? It is incredible to be here at the very first Northern Super League final, the championship match for Canada's first ever women's professional soccer league. To everyone here at BMO Field, everyone watching across the country and around the world, welcome to history in the making. Standing here surrounded by these amazing young players, it's impossible not to feel proud. Tonight is not just about who lifts the trophy. It's about everything this moment stands for. Progress, belief, and possibility. It's about showing the next generation, like those behind me, that their dreams belong right here. And that together, we will keep making space for them to grow. So let's celebrate this league, our phenomenal athletes, our incredible fans, and the bright future of the Northern Super League. Let's hear it, Canada. Now, please welcome the presidents of all 6 Northern Super League clubs: the Halifax Tides, Montreal Roses, Ottawa Rapid, AFC Toronto, Calgary Wild, and the Vancouver Rise. Leading them is NSL founder Diana B. Matheson with the cup that bears her name, a new symbol of Canadian soccer excellence.
Fans, as we celebrate our championship game, we pause to recognize we are gathering today on the Treaty 13 lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the traditional territories of the Haudenosaunee and the Huron-Wendat peoples. Toronto is also home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples whose presence continues to enrich this city. The Northern Super League is committed to listening, learning, and advancing the principles of truth and reconciliation, and to building a future in Canadian sport grounded in respect, access, and unity.
It's a game of persistence. Will you stare down the face of sacrifice? To be the great.
James Barrow! Brilliant! Nestor Ocarapo steals the show.
Just DiFilippo! What a goal!
To be the greatest. To be the greatest. To be the greatest. To be the greatest.
Fans, please welcome AFC Toronto and Vancouver Rise FC to the pitch for today's NSL Final. welcome the Honorable Evan Solomon, Minister of AI and Digital Innovation and Minister responsible for federal development in Ontario.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. This is fantastic. Let's go there. All right.
Et maintenant, veuillez vous lever pour le hymne national du Canada. And now, please rise as you're able and remove your hats for the singing of O Canada, performed by the Myriad Ensemble of Burlington, Ontario.
Well, what a thrilling pregame. I can't wait to get to the actual match. Amy Walsh, as everybody disperses on the field, the players getting ready for this inaugural Northern Super League Championship. Well, AFC Toronto, led by their coach, Marko Milanovic, didn't make any changes to his starting 11, decided that the status quo was the way to go. And why not? The way they rolled into these playoffs with a 6-1 aggregate win over the Montreal Roses. Let's take a look at the starting 11, lining up in their familiar 3-5-2 up front with that deadly duo of Esther Okoronkwo and the 17-year-old Kaylee Hunter. Emma Regan anchors the midfield, their team captain. So again, no changes for Marko Milanovic. He's been sticking with that side for much of the season. Some injuries on the back line, but we'll talk about that throughout the match. There is the man who spent a decade coaching in the North Toronto Soccer Club, the bones of where AFC Toronto was formed, and now finds himself the Supporters' Shield winners, leading them into the playoffs. As for Anya Heiner-Moller, Vancouver, well, it's kind of a home for her. She spent time coaching in the Whitecaps Academy system in 2017 and decided she had her eye on this league. She wanted to come back to Canada. She loves it here, and she's led her team from some precarious moments this season where they were out of the playoff picture all the way to third place. Their starting 11 unchanged from their match against the Ottawa Rapid, who they dismantled in penalty kicks. 4-3-3, again, their midfield stacked. Quinn, Samantha Chang, Lisa Pechersky, and don't count out that front line as well. Both teams gathering before kickoff. Final words of encouragement. Final words to charge towards the Diana B. Matheson Cup. Well, Amy Walsh, what are you expecting between these two teams? You said a little bit off the top of the show. Let's go back to you on that one.
Yeah, I think that panel with Andy, Claire, and Aaron covered it brilliantly, but I alluded to to the fact that I think this game is going to give us goals. Both coaches have talked about wanting to play an entertaining brand of football. Milanovic especially, so that's an energetic, high-pressing, high-tempo team. They want to stretch Vancouver, play between the lines, but the expansive style, you mentioned a 4-3-3 with Vancouver, they build with the back three. So if AFC Toronto can go more vertical, a little bit more aggressive, I think it's going to be an open game. I don't think it's two different playing styles canceling each other out. I think it's two heavyweights rising to the occasion. I'm not being pro-Vancouver there, but I just think the occasion will call for it. It's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be goals.
Vancouver today wearing their All Blacks, the Midnight Kit as they're known. And AFC Toronto wearing their white and baby blue kit, their city design kit today. There is the back line of Vancouver Rise getting together, led by Jessica Cowart, Philippines international at center back. And Sierra Cotillard on the other side of things, the 22-year-old in goal for Toronto, talking to her back line. A bit of a makeshift back line. Sarah Rollins, the 20-year-old, at the center, Ashley Cathro at the left, and Victoria Pickett, the midfielder, turned defender in the playoffs. Moments away from this inaugural NSL Final at BMO Field in Toronto. AFC Toronto, Vancouver Rise, getting set to kick off. More history will be made today. Quinn sending the ball deep into the AFC Toronto zone, out for a goal kick.
And that's by design. I mentioned AFC Toronto wanting to be really aggressive and suffocating their press, but the Vancouver Rise have a well-drilled press of their own, so they want to try to pin AFC Toronto and hem them in their own end.
Out to Victoria Pickett, challenged by Latifa Abdu, gets out of trouble. And Hunter trying to release Esther Okoronkwo. And out for a throw-in.
That might be a little bit of alarm bells ringing there for Vancouver, because that was much too easy for AFC Toronto. One-touch football, just get out of their own end and almost into the attacking third.
Cotillard up to Okoronkwo, off her shins. And Nikki Small taken down. First whistle of the game from Marie-Soleil Baudouin, who's in the middle of the pitch for the 15th time this season. Our inaugural match referee between Vancouver and Calgary way back in April. Cathro to Colby Barnett. California native says she doesn't mind this November weather. She's gotten used to it. Timely tackle by Jess Cowart. Jasmine Spencer under some pressure.
You see the numbers immediately, the counter press employed by AFC Toronto, swarming the ball carriers for the Vancouver Rise, so they win that ball back.
Pickett looking into Nikki Small.
Good Holly.
Stopped by Holly Ward, backtracking. Okoronkwo shielding, as the Super Falcon does so well, gives the ball away.
Holds her hand up there, gave the ball away cheaply when she had Vancouver under duress, close to the byline, looking to win either a corner from there or get a cross swung in and test McCaslin.
Sorry.
Small laying it back to Zoe Burns. Vancouver now with the ball. Across the front of goal. Headed in, Hunter, a chance to turn. Goes to the feet of Okoronkwo. Okoronkwo looking for that left foot. Nikki Small takes a deflection, and Morgan McCaslin with her first touch of this match.
See the numbers that AFC Toronto throw forward work to their advantage when they're trying to win the ball back, and uncharacteristically there, that ball slipped in, finds Kaylee Hunter, and she turns the wrong way. If she'd opened her body up the other way, she maybe would have had a chance at goal from the top of the box.
Quinn switching the pitch all the way over to Holly Ward. Holly Ward taking a charge down that left side. And broken up. Pickett tried to get out of there. Midfield style, escapes with it.
Marko Milanovic was talking about that. The midfielder deployed as the right back, just towing that line between the risk and the reward.
Yuka Okamoto, a summer transfer signing from the Vancouver Rise. Long throw in, finds Latifa Abdu. She can fire from there. Don't want to give her much space. AFC corralling on the ball, and that will go out for a Vancouver Rise throw in.
And just off the throw, saw Latifa Abdu find that ball to feet in the attacking third, and you see that intuitive attacking movement by DiFilippo. They're such a great complementary attacking duo for the Rise.
Regan elects to push the ball all the way back to Jessica Cowart. Jasmine Spencer. DiFilippo keeps that alive. Lisa Pechersky looking forward for Abdu. Barnett battling with DiFilippo, yanked down. And Marie-Soleil Baudouin will want a little word. The shirt tug is often a yellow. Little warning this time.
And also, I think a warning for Barnett to say, cool it, I will decide when and where I award the cautions. As soon as Barnett was to her feet, she's willing the referee to caution DiFilippo.
Long ball forward. That's Cowart. Quinn was looking for an on-charging Pechersky. Here she comes now, challenging Barnett. This will be an interesting battle today between two workhorses in the NSL.
You can see Cathro sucked out of that space and that right flank and that channel weaponized for the Rise.
Quinn, some space. Was looking for Ward, broken up by Zoe Burns. Spencer across to Okamoto. Holly Ward, 1v1. Burns will send it out for a corner kick, our first corner of the match.
And we mentioned in our Chang versus Regan pack, that's going to be the midfield battle right now, but it's going to be midfield versus midfield to see who has the upper hand in this match. But Sam Chang, somebody that we highlighted there, is absolutely lethal on this service over there with Quinn right now. Two of them there might play the short, but DiFilippo clearly the target.
Quinn taking the corner for Vancouver, driving it into that near post, hits the mesh.
So Quinn and Ward short, 2 Cody yards right with Chang in that 6. Different look for the Rise, but they certainly have the variety and the different personnel who can hit those free kicks.
Yard pops that up the pitch, headed down by Rebecca Lake. Ball bounces to the feet of Nikki Small, playing it in behind for Okoronkwo. Doesn't have any numbers. Okoronkwo by herself. Okoronkwo looked across goal, and it's skipped by McCaslin.
And I think she even got fingertips to that, Signa.
Strategakis off of Spencer and out for a corner kick. So a bit back and forth here in the early goings at BMO Field.
And Nikki Small so critical in the build-up. That same channel ball to Esther Okoronkwo drives the byline. Looks like she might cut it back. She had Stratigakis and Hunter flooding the box, but went to goal herself. McCaslin had to be ready and protect that near post.
Emma Regan, 25-year-old Burnaby, BC native. Short corner to Nikki Small. Into the box, back post!
Oh my goodness!
And you won't see that often. Kaylee Hunter missing that prime opportunity as AFC Toronto fans look on.
Straight from the training ground, this one. Nikki Small checks to ball, passes it back on an angle to Emma Regan. First time swings that in, and she's unbalanced the Rise defense. And you had Hunter just ghosting into that back post. You had numbers for the Rise, but that came very close to being the opening goal for this NSL Final.
So some heart palpitations, I'm sure, on the side of the Vancouver Rise. The first real scoring opportunity of this match. Ashley Cathro, a Victoria, BC native, so we talked a little bit about both of these teams having some players from each other's regions. Hunter, lovely layoff to Barnett. Barnett. That left-footed Cruyff turn she's so known for. Cuts it back again and again! Over the head of Okoronkwo! Some great individual work from Colby Barnett.
Turning Lisa Petruski inside out. And that all started with a more direct ball from Sarah Rollins finding the feet of Kaylee Hunter.
And it is on the feet of Kaylee Hunter. She looked to goal right away. Blocked by Nikki Small. Small charges forward. And the ball skips off the foot of McCaslin. Out for a corner kick, but AFC is on the prowl.
Wave after wave of attack now from AFC Toronto, giving Vancouver Rise very little respite here from this storm. And Nikki Small just not wanting to be denied here, just cuts through two defenders between Lake and Okamoto and has a chance on goal. Came very, very close. They're just buzzing right now, AFC Toronto.
Just over 10 minutes into this match, the inaugural NSL Final. Captain Emma Regan on the corner. The in swing, headed away by Jess DiFilippo. Barnett looked to Regan, and Okoronkwo nearly got at the end of that one. Cleared away from danger, back up to midfield, and you talked about the respite, needing a little bit of a breather.
But Emma Regan seeing this just on the line beautifully, had a yard about there to work with, cuts in behind and beautifully opens her body up, and then with her right foot squares it across and just misses connecting with Okoronkwo.
Kaylee Hunter, touch out of foot to give herself some space. Deflected off of Holly Ward, who's having to do a whole lot of defending early on in this match. Burns tried to cross in behind the defenders, just went awry.
We've seen a number of crosses now. We've seen AFC Toronto threaten from those central channels, but it's been the width that they're creating in the attack and really threatening from those wide areas, whether it's Regan on set pieces or it's Barnett, or we just saw there with Burns, and I think that's where they can test McCaslin.
Spencer's pass picked off. Small, a shot on goal. McCaslin, like Velcro, scoops that up.
We heard Claire Rustad talk about how impressed she's been with Kaylee Hunter, and you know there that is all Nikki Small, and for chance creation, she leads the way in the league, but it's that little movement, that little run by Kaylee Hunter that just opens up the space for Small to be able to get that shot off.
across to Okamoto. Back to Rebecca Lake. Jess Cowart, who's been at center back all season. Of course, the ACL injury to both captain Shannon Weller and Ariel Young. Kennedy Faulkner unavailable at center back as well, so they've had to have some makeshift back line. Rebecca Lake coming over as a summer transfer signing, former New Zealand Youth International.
They have grown into that partnership. It's been makeshift for a little while now and moving players square pegs into round holes, but I think the acquisition of Lake gave them the stability they needed in that back line.
Hunter, poked away by Okamoto. Pickett, pushing forward, small little slide tackle layoff. Almost got to a breaking Stratigakis.
It's almost showing off, isn't it? A slide tackle layoff? Like, what can Nikki Small do?
Rollins cuts it back. Heady move by the 20-year-old.
Such composure on the ball.
Barnett, the cross in, headed away by Cowart, and again a little touch. Regan to her left foot, the strike! What a save by McCaslin! And McCaslin stops things again in their tracks, and that was a huge save.
AFC Toronto on the front foot, completely dictating terms to the Vancouverites. Great little play by Stratigakis to open it up for Regan. And we saw Signa in that little pack that we did from the booth, talking about Emma Regan and her threat outside the box. She can do it with both feet.
Barnett along the left touch line, goes out of bounds.
That is going to be a good battle in that channel between Pachursky and Barnett, both of them tireless. Great little inside-outside move with Regan, and she has that little bit of daylight just by Cowart and maybe disguised a little bit, but McCaslin able to come up big with the save. Leader in shot stopping this year for the Rise and for the league.
Spencer moving forward, has Abdu running on, cuts around Rollins. Ashley Cathro gets back in time, draws the foul on Abdu.
And great support. I mean, this is the back line. This is their third game working together with Rollins at the heart of it. So you see the support, you see the coverage by Cathro coming back to cover for Rollins.
AFC Toronto's back line missing two players due to injury. Croy Soto, who is a fixture at center back for them this season, as well as Kayla Hansen.
Dealing with some concussion problems and available today, but it's been about a month since he's played. So I think this team, or this back three, has shown, obviously you have Burns and Barnett who slide into that back five when needed, but they've done extremely well.
Quinn released the ball forward, Abdu chases it down. But again, Pickett, anticipation. Breakneck pace here, Amy Walsh, getting the going here. We're not even 20 minutes into this match.
I want to say I told you so, Signa, but I said this thing was going to be a high-flying affair. And Victoria Pickett very much involved, very influential from the get-go for AFC Toronto.
Again, both of these teams do love to have the ball. They said the pitch here at BMO Field is in great shape. It's playing really fast. Some concerns after the Canadian men's team played Ecuador on Thursday night. Would the field be chopped up? Not at all. Running very, very well.
It runs fast, it plays quick, but I think this favors both of these teams.
Stratigakis to Regan. Small. Hunter. Back to Small. could hear no corner, no corner. That's out for a throw.
Yeah, you mentioned it off the top, Signa Ward having to do a tremendous amount of defending early on, but doing a very good job to neutralize anything that's coming down that right channel.
Abdu also having to come back. Sierra Cotillard off her line, often stays in close touch with her back line in the way that AFC Toronto wants to play. Strategakis turning inside. Sarah Rollins. And Pickett charging inside. The through ball.
Pass.
Strategakis sending it through. Haley Hunter goes to the right foot. And this time it's in! Off the foot of McCaslin and in. Haley Hunter. Would there be anyone else?
It was going to be Hunter. It was Okoronkwo in the second leg of those semifinals with that hat trick in 27 minutes. And Kaylee Hunter, I think, leaning on that corner stick, on that corner flag. This is my day. And again, Victoria Pickett, instrumental in the build-up to this play. Some one-touch football by AFC Toronto sees them open the scoring here. It's a great run again, holds it, hesitates, back to feet, and then releases her into space. Cuts it inside, has it on that left foot, decides to go with the right, slightly disguised again, and beats McCaslin. So as she comes in, she cuts the angle, and then brings it back outside and through the legs of McCaslin. So all credit to the youngster, to the 17-year-old, to open the scoring here. But Morgan McCaslin will want that one back. I think caught between two minds, trying to protect that near post, thinking that Hunter was maybe going to go across her, and beats her through the legs.
Second goal of the playoffs for Kaylee Hunter, the 17-year-old from Calgary, Alberta. And Morgan McCaslin, who moments ago had a wonderful save off an Emma Regan strike, lets one through. If we know anything about the Vancouver Rise, they are a resilient team. And look at that, the ball forward right away. Sierra Cotillard off her line to sweep it away.
Her ability to read the game, her timing to leave her box and to come and clear those balls has just improved game on game on game throughout this year. You're really seeing the maturation in the way that she plays aggressively behind that back three.
Strategakis. Small play through to Okoronkwo. The quick turn to her forward partner, Kaylee Hunter. Hunter, the strike from distance, and goes out of bounds. Let's go down to pitch side and Rob Pizzo.
Well, Signa, Amy, you both know this. Athletes are superstitious, and our goal scorer today, Kaylee Hunter, no different. If you ask her where she puts all of her money, it's into her cleats. This is her superstition. She has 5 pair of cleats in her locker at all times. She has another 4 pair at home, and you might think, well, is that a bit of overkill? Well, not so much, because she puts a lot of thought into what cleats she's going to wear. She takes into account the kit, the vibe, whether or not it's grass and her cleats are going to get dirty, and also she has to have a brand new pair of Nike socks for every game. That may seem weird to people like us, but 15 goals and then 1 today, I think it's actually working for her.
Thanks, Rob. All that, I was going to say allowance money, but she's making a pro contract right now, so she can use that money towards the boots. Burns, the cross out of bounds. Were you one that buffed up your boots before every game? Did you like to polish before every game?
No, not before every game, but there certainly was a routine, and there was a dedicated pair for certain conditions. And I feel like with the players who have worked through the varying conditions and the poor ones of late, like if you have to switch boots, that it maybe plays into your head.
Spencer sends it up. Regan manages to get that out of the foot of Abdu. Regan and into trouble. Rarely gives up the ball, gives it up to Abdu. Abdu going solo, looking for the strike on goal, that goes wide, but a rare miscue from the AFC Toronto captain leads to a scoring opportunity on the other side.
Who had lots of space to and lots of time to work with before she's stripped of possession, but you see Pickett coming over, the way that the players collapsed on Abdu and pushed her wide, kept her away from that central channel and her ability to connect and link up with DiFilippo. So yes, you lost the ball, but I think the recovery and the way that AFC Toronto adapted was exactly what they needed to do.
Latifa Abdu can certainly unleash a shot. We've seen her score some screamers this season, both for the Montreal Roses, who she started the season with, and for the Vancouver Rise, who she joined in August.
Okamoto was unable to connect with Chang. They're looking longer for the feet, try to find Abdu, but Chang just getting in behind and floating between the lines, between the likes of Pickett and Small, unmarked. She does so well to drift into those areas, and usually whether it's the wide player in Okamoto or it's Holly Ward who's pulled wide herself, you're able to find Sam Chang in those pockets of space.
Nearly slipped through for Holly Ward. Ball played back dangerously to Sierra Cotillard, and an offside flag will negate that.
It must have been the previous phase of play, because of course there could not be offside from a ball played from Victoria Pickett back to Cotillard.
The ball outside on the right side for a throw-in.
You can see the Rise trying to trap AFC Toronto on the touch lines, trying to push them over there on those various triggers on their press, but they're not able to prevent Kaylee Hunter from finding that space between the lines herself as she's dropping off the front line defeat.
They're playing the advantage there. That would have been a foul on Kaylee Hunter on Quinn. Back up on their feet. Finds Abdu. Abdu's able to turn and yank down by Sarah Stratigakis, who will likely earn a yellow card here, and does, from Marie-Soleil Baudouin.
Pretty cynical foul, and will be a dangerous free kick for the Vancouver Rise. So trying to sandwich there in the coverage with Sarah Rollins, and both hands pretty obviously tugging Abdu back.
Yellow card issued in the 27th minute to AFC Toronto's number 16, Sarah Stratigakis.
And this is also a dangerous area for the Rise to equalize. Sarah Cotillard organizing her wall. Sam Chang and Jess DiFilippo, who scored from about 45 yards out in the run of play earlier this season. Chang, who had a brace against AFC Toronto this season. And DiFilippo running over Chang over top of the bar.
She scored from just inside that area this year, feels comfortable, confident from that type of distance. Just a little run over the ball to try to get the wall to bite and to jump, maybe move ever so slightly, but that was always sailing over the bar.
Quinn on the right side of the ball. Finds Pachurski. Pachurski running by Barnett, the cross in. Headed down by Regan. Spencer. Bounced off Barnett there, out for a goal kick. Two
sturdy, physical players.
Talked to Coach Enya Heiner-Moller the other day about Jasmine Spencer. He said, is she built for the playoffs or what? And the coach said, absolutely. And she leans on some of those players. Jasmine Spencer with 12 years of experience in the NWSL. It's those experienced players that seem to get up for the playoffs.
And know how to manage their bodies and the rigors of the playoffs and the travel that is inherent when you play for a team on the West Coast. But playing some of her best football right now, for sure, Jasmine Spencer is.
Lake looking forward. Pickett heads it down. Burns. Hunter lets it run over. Attacks Lake. Cuts it back. Hunter. Shot across goal. Just wide.
Kaylee Hunter giving Rebecca Lake fits right now. We don't see it, but before that, Lake is caught in no man's land. She doesn't go with Hunter. And then again, much as we saw Barnett turn Pechersky inside out on this left flank, you see Hunter do it there, and she had Okoronkwo. You had the later run by Strategakis, but Kaylee Hunter, we know instinctively she's going forward. She was going for goal all day long.
Pechersky touch on that left foot and finds a break. Sam Chang. Lots of space. Holly Ward, you know she'll chase that down with that pace. Ward, 1v1. Turning Burns inside out. The ball cleared. And out for an AFC throw.
That is exactly where Sam Chang is going to hurt AFC Toronto. She finds a little bit of daylight, some green grass to run into. She drives into the space and releases Holly Ward forward. So after an uneven beginning from the Rise where they were forced to defend, they were on their heels. They want to dominate through ball possession. So can they secure the ball? Can they have sustained possession in the attacking third? And you'll see some of these movement patterns emerge from the game.
Abdu Shields back to Spencer. Finds Pechersky looking for that curling left-footed ball. We've seen her score some nice goals this season. Spencer, the cross in, and Rollins gets it out for a corner kick.
Be a little bit of miscommunication there as that ball is swung in. Spencer overlapping, Pechersky sends it in, and then you had two defenders in Rollins and Cathro at that near post. And I think Cody Yard could have called them off and simply come for it, but instead they're looking at a corner kick here and having to defend it.
Just over 30 minutes gone in this opening half, the inaugural Northern Super League Final. Quinn on the ball. Drives to the 12-yard spot. And AFC Toronto out with it. Small pushes it forward for Okoronkwo. Vancouver backpedaling here. Pechersky chasing it down. Okoronkwo curling the ball in and stopped by McCaslin.
AFC Toronto, those transitional moments, they can hurt the Vancouver Rise, but perhaps not the best decision by Esther Okoronkwo. We know that's her favorite left foot.
Nearly a miscue in the back there by AFC Toronto. Rollins and Pickett confused there. Abdu nearly got a break.
Maybe Vancouver's way in finding that equalizer is capitalizing on some of that miscommunication in AFC Toronto's backline. Just seizing on one of those moments of indecision.
Watching the NSL Final, brought to you by Toyota. It is the AFC Toronto ahead 1-0 over Vancouver. But this Rise team, resilient as we've been saying. Drawing a foul here. Both players down on the turf, Quinn and Okoronkwo.
It's Quinn that draws the foul, but Okoronkwo looks the worse of the two out of this coming together. as they're both slow to get up and to react. You're seeing a gap now in between the team parts of AFC Toronto, between a flat mid-3 and their back line. Vancouver looking to exploit it. Quinn driving into that space. Okoronkwo actually touching ball, but coming through on Quinn on the follow-through. And incredulous by Pickett and Regan talking to the referee about the fact that Okoronkwo won the ball. But you're also responsible for your body and controlling it. You can't just simply go through the player as you could do in my era. As long as you as the player making the ball sign, I got the ball. It's not enough. You have to be in control of your body after you come into contact with the ball.
Just listening in there on Anya Heiner-Moller. We did see the Vancouver Rise, after Kaylee Hunter scored the goal, come together at their half, circle up and say, hey, you know what, it's an early goal, it's all right, we got this. They've equated themselves, they've kind of held off the storm since that moment in time.
And they've been in that position. I mean, Kate McKenna mentioned in the semifinal they were down twice to the Ottawa Rapid before Holly Ward found the equalizer on aggregate and then behind on pens. And so that mentality is kind of knitted into it's built into the team at this point. Quinn looking a little bit worse for wear there, struggling a wee bit.
Quinn up on their feet. And we'll see what kind of condition they're in if they're able to continue. Toronto native Quinn, 106 caps for country, 2 Olympic medals, couple World Cups, and in some discomfort here in front of friends and family. And if you're Vancouver, you want to see Quinn stay in this match. It's not looking so hot right now, Amy.
No, it's not. Quinn is integral to the way that the Vancouver Rise want to play. See Quinn drop into that back line sometimes, critical in the way that they build, but then also the long diagonals, the switches of play, the way they drive forward, interchanging with Sam Chang, creating that little bit of instability that AFC Toronto have to defend. That would be a huge loss if Quinn is unable to continue.
The rain is pouring down at BMO Field in Toronto just as the star player for the Vancouver Rise, Quinn, walking to the tunnel. So we'll find out who steps in Quinn's place, but that is a huge loss for the Vancouver Rise. Spencer. Okoronkwo no worse for wear. Bowls over Peczerski. And it'll be Nikki Stanton coming into the match for Quinn. So Quinn unavailable, going down to the tunnel after a collision with Esther Okoronkwo moments ago.
Replaced by number 7, Nicole Stanton.
So Nikki Stanton, another experienced midfielder, coming into the match. Okay, so we heard the whistle there blow and I heard the thunder. So if you heard that at home, that means we're going to have a break. FIFA referee since 2014, Marie-Soleil Baudouin, and her crew of Stephanie Fortin, Camille Raymond, Carly Shaw McLaren, the 4th official today. So they also had to get warmed up here. A 5-minute warm-up has gone and done, and now we're underway. And immediately Vancouver with the pressure on AFC Toronto.
And that's not the first time we've tried to see, or Okamoto rather, has tried to connect from that left touchline to the feet of Latifa Abdu, just checking off AFC Toronto's back line. And it hasn't connected, but that's a pattern to look out for if you're AFC Toronto. You see how flat that midfield is with Small tucking in alongside Regan and then Stratigakis on the left.
play picked off. Ronquo. Pass forward, read by Coward. Coward really key on reading those plays at the center back position.
Great
Vancouver.
Great step by Coward, for sure. That's something that they have to do better. Obviously, defensively, Aaron and Claire were talking about being more disciplined in that back line, making sure you're staying on that line, whether you're the fullback or you're that one of those center back pairs. But something that the front runners can do better is pressure the ball and avoid that long service. Stop it from happening.
Abdu with a bit of a heavy touch and a hard tackle on Regan was not called. Jess DiFilippo trying to win the ball back and cleared by Barnett. Over the head of DiFilippo. An errant clearance by Barnett, but Small corrals it. Bit of table tennis going on right now, just to gain control of possession. Howard again over top. Looking for Peczerski, goes off of Barnett. Some of the fans are warming up with drumming. They're cold too.
Could use some percussive instruments up here in the booth.
Yeah, it is a little chilly.
Not gonna lie.
It's about 3 degrees in Toronto. Of course, the rain making it a little chillier by the lake in Ontario. Latifa Abdu. And tackled by Sarah Rollins.
On that flick, well read by Abdu, and she was able to get advantageous position on Rollins, but Rollins did well to stay with her and prevent that turn and then block it and prevent from conceding a corner.
If you're just joining us, it is a 1-0 lead for AFC Toronto. Kaylee Hunter with the goal. For Vancouver, Quinn unfortunately out of the game due to an injury just before stoppage time because of that weather delay. Nikki Stanton taking their place in the lineup. We'll see if we can find out how Quinn is doing, but right now unavailable, went to the tunnel after their injury with a collision with Esther Okoronkwo.
I think with the insertion of Nikki Stanton, I think Claire said it perfectly. It's absolutely not a downgrade, but it's a different type of player. And a great ball played by her into space.
Stanton to Peczerski. And Cotillard off her line just in time. Peczerski took a hard hit there. As Cotillard came out, Cotillard gathering herself, but Peczerski down behind the goal. It's a hard surface back there.
Slow to get to her feet, but she is up and ready to go, which would be good. Gets the inside position. Barnett comes back, but Cotillard bravely comes out, gathers that ball up, doesn't corral it entirely, and I think she catches a cleat of Peczerski in the side.
Peczerski won it right back. Strategakis taken down by Stanton.
And then further to your point about losing Quinn, you mentioned how integral they are to the way and the philosophy, the identity of the Rise. Via Quinn as that deeper line playmaker, you do lose with the insertion of Stanton some of that long range passing, some of that synchronicity, the interchanging with Chang, but with Stanton, you get a gritty defensive player who is smart and simple on the ball.
Okoronkwo keeping the ball in play, going one-on-one against Coward. Dancing just under the foot of Strategakis, and now Vancouver pushing forward. A timely header by Cathro because Abdu was on a break. Barnett, the cross across goal. It hit the head of Hunter, but will go out of bounds.
And caught a slight touch as that came across. I'm not sure by which Vancouver Rise player, but it was an important touch because it prevented Kaylee Hunter from getting on the end of that. But prior to that, Esther Okoronkwo were used and were kind of spoiled by her quality on the ball, but that was a casual and careless ball that she played to Strategakis and lost possession.
Regan, Small, Hunter, the cross in, oh, almost hit the post. Okoronkwo cleared off the line by Jasmine Spencer. Nervy moments for Vancouver. And Jasmine Spencer saves the day.
You said that she was built for the playoffs, Signa. Absolutely. Game-saving moment there, perhaps. And then that cross there catches a deflection, surprises McCaslin, and then it's Spencer to the rescue, just to McCaslin's right, who clears it just about a yard off the line.
Corner kick for AFC Toronto. The in-swinging kick from Colby Barnett. Barnett driving far post, way far, and will curl around out for a goal kick.
AFC Toronto, despite their struggles on set pieces this year, have looked very dangerous early on in this game. Well, not so early on anymore, but in this first half, particularly from the corner kicks, no matter what side and who's on service, whether it's Barnett or Regan. But that one, it had the right whip on it, the right amount of pace, but just too lofted and too long.
Well done by Barnett. And picked off by Lake. Pickett, fancy footwork. Victoria Pickett, the makeshift defender today.
Marko Milanovic mentioned as his attacking midfielder deployed as a right back, giving him heart palpitations sometimes, but that's the type of play that you get, the composure, the calmness, and obviously sometimes doing it in moments where he would like her to be a little bit more simple, take less risk, but it pays off there for Pickett.
As indicated, there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of time added to the first half.
4 minutes of added time to this opening half of the Northern Super League final. Still very much anyone's match.
And the 4 minutes is excluding how long it took the panel to get from the tunnel back to the back to the panel.
Should mention great crowd on hand at BMO Field despite these challenging weather conditions. Supporters groups from across the country. Ball nearly played through by Nikki Stanton. A diagonal run. Kaylee Hunter going one-on-one. Tried the cross in, deflects off Coward and into the arms of McCaslin.
And again, Nikki Small is the architect of that attack. It takes the timing and the runs by Hunter.
Okoronkwo picks off the pass from Jasmine Spencer. Strategakis trying to pick her spot. Kaylee Hunter pops it up. Strategakis goes airtime, and that'll draw a foul.
Had come from an offside position as well, which is, I think, what is called on the pitch. But you see for the Vancouver Rise, Nikki Stanton intercept a pass, can't quite connect to Spring Holly Ward, but going the other way, Nikki Small is able to find Kaylee Hunter, and then Strategakis, with the ball recycled, keeps this going. She's actually out of bounds there, so shouldn't have necessarily been called offside, but I think nevertheless had fouled the defender.
DiFilippo turning backwards, gives the ball up. Okoronkwo. And no call at the top of the box. Okoronkwo down on the turf.
That was a poor ball by DiFilippo to put her back line under duress. And then they're forced into what looked like a foul to me on Okoronkwo, but a referee allows play to continue.
Ball played over top. Kaylee Hunter's gonna break. Tried to go near post and just misses.
And that was a poor decision. That could have been 2-0 for AFC Toronto if Kaylee Hunter with her left foot had elected to square that ball across to Esther Okoronkwo. So you see the patience there, getting that ball beautifully played in behind, and then goes with her right foot to try to beat McCaslin to her right, when she could have just slid it over to Okoronkwo for the tap-in, much the way we saw them score the other day versus Montreal Roses in the second leg of that semifinal.
Okoronkwo, lots of space here, goes one-on-one. Lake got a touch on that just in the nick of time, out for a corner kick. So in added time here, AFC Toronto with a few chances.
that have gone wasted, and that was a chance to kill the game. It's still only 2-0, and we know how dangerous that scoreline can be, but you're up by 2 goals heading into the locker room for halftime versus only leading by 1 when you've thoroughly dominated.
Certainly will want a few of those opportunities back. Colby Barnett on the ball. McCaslin calls for it, the punch over top, and it'll be another corner kick, still within added time here. Emma Regan will step up to the ball. Small's over there as well. We'll have to watch out if there's a short corner.
And Barnett, even though she missed on a previous occasion, they're testing McCaslin deliberately right in that 6.
Short corner, Regan going one-on-one. Spencer.
Another opportunity.
Goes out of bounds. This could be the last opportunity of this opening half.
Emma Regan going 1v1 versus Jasmine Spencer, who does well. Doesn't let her go by or get to that byline, but concedes another corner.
Likely our last play of this opening half. Emma Regan at the corner flag, knocking that ball near post, looking for a flick on, and they didn't get it. And that will indeed be the opening 45 minutes. Esther Okoronkwo getting things underway. And it was AFC Toronto with the bulk of chances in that opening half. So we'll see what kind of response Vancouver has. Had a chance to reset at halftime, of course. Saw them having a huddle just by their bench ahead of time. It's 45 minutes left on the season, no matter what.
And Abdu there with a foul on Pickett, and that's what Pickett has done, is she's driving forward from that right back position, but these first 15 minutes are going to be critical of the second half for the Vancouver Rise, then also for AFC Toronto to put their stamp on this game and put it out of reach.
Emma Regan found some space. The one-time cross in. Looking for Hunter. Okoronkwo lands on her foot. Whoa, and bowls over Nikki Stanton. That doesn't happen often. Okoronkwo determined. Across goal, and Morgan McCaslin has it.
Esther Okoronkwo, a woman possessed at the beginning of the second half. Just unbelievable, just bodies Nikki Stanton. Says, I'm gonna keep possession of this ball in the box. Couple of moves to get past Okamoto, and challenges McCaslin as to come out and claim that cross. They need to pull it out a little bit more, but she wants to make things decisive and score that second goal to open the second half.
Okoronkwo, of course, winning the WAFCON championship with Nigeria, their 10th title. She said she wants another title. She's hoping it's that NSL crown.
Zoe Burns driving. Holly Ward again coming up big defensively, but yet another corner conceded.
It'll be Colby Barnett with the in-swinger. Across the front of goal, headed away by DiFilippo. Burns tried to pop it back in. Not quite, and it's going to be laid off by AFC right to the foot of Lisa Paczurski, who dipsy doodles around and finds Samantha Chang. Paczurski turning the other direction and fought off the ball. Kaylee Hunter, who sends it forward for Okoronkwo. Okoronkwo with a break. Esther Okoronkwo going forward, and McCaslin picks up the ball. Enough pressure by Jessica Cowart, backtracking there. Took the ball away from Okoronkwo, was firmly set on goal.
Only because Esther Okoronkwo wanted it on that favored left foot. Cowart would never have closed her down if she took the more direct route to goal.
Abdu lays off to Paczurski. Chang slowing things down, back to Spencer. Stanton. Okamoto, this is nice from Vancouver now. Holly Ward, one-on-one. Burns does a great job defending. And some pressure. Lake, back to McCaslin. And back to Lake, who's got some room.
AFC Toronto have to find their shape now. You're seeing Vancouver Rise use the width a little bit better, trying to pull AFC Toronto apart so that they can attack those seams. But the transitional moments continue to be troubling the Vancouver Rise. That more direct vertical ball is giving them fits.
Okamoto was looking for Abdu. Again, that's cleared out for a throw. And Johanna Moeller looking for answers from her team in this second half. Without Quinn, who is out with injury. Happened in the first half near our weather stoppage.
Ball stays in.
Was out of bounds, but moved it in. Spencer, who had that game-saving stop off the line, stopped an Okoronkwo sure goal. Would have been 2-0. Spencer, the 35-year-old veteran from Bayshore, New York, former striker. So she knows what it takes to win those one-on-one duels, and she was saving goals instead of scoring them there. On that game-saving stop. Pickett, little casual. A little too much time on the ball. Vancouver was pressing.
A couple of balls given away now by Victoria Pickett. I mean, they've been risky. She's playing them, she's hesitating instead of playing them quickly, instinctively. She's questioning herself and then still playing it anyway, giving Vancouver a chance to pounce on them. You saw that with Paczurski a few minutes ago, driving the other way. Before that led to Okoronkwo in all alone versus McCaslin.
Stratigakis had released Okoronkwo, and Okoronkwo did not hear the whistle and may be given a card, and she will for delay of game. Offside flag was up.
And I think truly, given the crowd noise, I don't think she heard the whistle on that delayed offside call. But fires the ball at McCaslin, which is after the whistle, and is cautioned for it. But I think she felt like play was live.
So Okoronkwo given a yellow. In the books alongside Sarah Stratigakis. Sorry, pardon me.
It looks to be onside as that's played. So the boos from the crowd, I'm not sure if they saw that replay, is not only because they're siding with their player, saying, I don't think she heard the whistle, but she was onside when that ball was played.
Kelly Hunter down, holding the back of her leg. Challenge from Rebecca Lake. And the ball misplayed by Colby Barnett. She's got some recovering to do. Paczurski with a chance. Paczurski mishandled by Cotillard. And out for a corner kick.
And medical staff will be called on the pitch to tend to Kaylee Hunter, who's still down on the pitch, but that's Jess DiFilippo, who needs to come to life in this contest, who releases Paczurski. And then, as you said, Cotillard slightly misjudges that footwork. Not great prior to that save, but gets enough on it to parry it outside the frame of the goal and out for a corner kick.
And this is what happened with Hunter here. Maybe just a clip in the back of the leg.
Maybe catches just that Achilles, the back of the foot, but regardless has stayed down until that play ended.
Stanton, who came into the game for Quinn, getting set to take this corner kick. Kaylee Hunter back on her feet. She'll have to be given permission to enter the field and play again.
It looks to be okay, moving all right.
Stanton and Ward. Near the ball, it'll be a... Ooh. And it's in the back of the goal! Near post kick by Nikki Stanton. And this takes a deflection and goes by Sierra Cotillard. We're all tied up at BMO Field in Toronto. Game on!
And the crowd is just stunned here, but not the Crow Collective, not the Vancouver Rise supporters, and certainly not the bench for the Rise that just leapt up and came to life. So this is sent, I think, surprises, and it's Emma Regan. That ball goes under her foot, but it catches Cotillard off guard. Rebecca Lake is just in there, potentially screaming an extra body in the way between Cotillard and Emma Regan, and that is just calamitous by AFC Toronto, who have gifted that to the Rise.
So Vancouver evens this game up at 1. And some of those early chances that AFC Toronto didn't put away, is that going to come back to haunt them? But Vancouver, that curling kick from Nikki Stanton.
The substitute Nikki Stanton, who came on for an injured Quinn.
Go, go, go.
Lifts the ball forward. That was one of the things that the panel was talking about, that they needed to clean up their play in the back, be more decisive with their clearances. So far, so good for Vancouver. Ball played in, Nikki Small. Small slides across Okoronko, the touch. Bit too chunky.
And the layoff was there for Kaylee Hunter. So we've seen that attacking tandem, though the understanding has been built over the course of this season. Great spell of play, great build-up, one-touch play off the flank into the central area. Nikki Stanton finding that pocket and then finding the feet of Okoronko, but instead of laying it off simply to Kaylee Hunter for perhaps a one-touch finish, tries it herself.
Cotillard to Pickett. Burns gives it up to Chang. Abdu. Vancouver with more confidence here. Some confusion again! And the ball spills right into the arms of Cotillard, but just some mismanagement at the back. And both players down. Sierra Cotillard, Jess DiFilippo looks to be getting up to her feet.
And it's Pachursky just one time off that pass from Abdu, trying to slip DiFilippo in. But really, it's just, again, Rollins coming together with Barnett, both of them going for that ball. That's a mistake, and luckily Cotillard is there, but unsure somewhat as she comes out and clatters into DiFilippo. So I think the Rise now, we talked about how important this first 15 minutes was going to be for the team trailing, and that was the Rise. And they've come out, and now they're looking to dominate a little bit more on the ball, and I think they're sensing some uncertainty from AFC Toronto, and they're looking to capitalize on it. They already have done off that corner kick from Stanton.
Cathro looking forward. Cowart clears it. Once again, Cathro. Back to Rollins. Forward, all the way back to McCaslin, so chance to reset their shape both sides. Vancouver appears to be getting a substitution ready in this match. We'll get to that in just a moment. Stanton was looking for the through ball for Holly Ward. Again, a little bit unsure of herself. Cody Yard coming off her line. Paczurski, tackled by Barnett. So it is Vancouver on the front foot here. Approaching the 60-minute mark.
Paczurski just looking to split Regan and Barnett, and successfully does so and is hauled down by the wingback.
So Yuka Okamoto coming out of the match, Mariah Lee coming in, so that'll mean Lisa Paczurski will come over to the left side fullback position. Mariah Lee, a striker. So some attack-minded play here with the game 1-1 for Anya Heiner-Moller's side. Lisa Paczurski, very flexible player, enable Vancouver to play in multiple ways. Has played a bit of fullback, has played up front, has played on the wing. Ball chipped in. Cody Yard will gather that free kick.
And Cody Yard is a young goalkeeper, 22 years old.
Rid of it here.
Has to get rid of it, certainly. Erin McLeod knows all about that one, unfortunately. Sorry, Erin, but she has to start to assert herself here. We talked about whether or not that makeshift back line would come into play, would be a narrative in this contest, and it absolutely has been. We talked about some frailties in Vancouver's back line in the first half, and now at the beginning of this second half, it's been AFC Toronto coping with the onslaught of rushes from Vancouver Rise, and also the lack of communication between Cody Yard and especially Rollins or that back three.
Chang swings the ball into the box, right to Cody Yard. Regan turns. Small. Burns looks forward to Okoronkwo. Ball slipped through. Hunter playing in Okoronkwo. Wants that left foot, Amy! And it goes wide. So far, the Super Falcon has been kept in flight.
Maybe not flying too close to the sun, but those wings pin back a little bit. But you saw that combination. Nikki Small has been integral in that one-touch play, the build-up, going really direct. And Okoronkwo wants to take Cowart, open her up, but Cowart knows it. She's keeping her on her right and not giving her that little window of opportunity to bend it into that far post.
Okoronkwo, the hat trick in 27 minutes against the Montreal Roses in leg number 2 of the playoffs. Certainly been one of the offensive stars of the season. Okoronkwo, 11 goals, 8 assists on the year. So far, kept intact. Barnett, the touch of the foot, finds Hunter. What a touch. I mean, it was just like glue. And Barnett drilled that ball in there.
I mean, first of all, it was a sublime first touch by Barnett to beat her player and to whip that cross in, but it was coming in with some pace. And then the way it was cushioned by Hunter, I mean, she's got tremendous technical ability and is able to win that corner for her team.
Captain Regan on the ball. The Vermilion Vanguard supporters with their flags waving. They want to see something here. Miss hit. Goes right back to Regan. Pops it up high. And Okoronkwo and Kaylee Hunter almost collide. And Vancouver out with it. Pickett. What a slide tackle.
Terrific by Pickett.
Small the other way. Small. Deflects off Lakin into the arms of McCaslin.
That clip ball to the back post was on for Nikki Small, but she had numbers in the box wherever this was placed. But it was good defense by Rebecca Lake.
Barnes looks to slide that over top. And Okoronkwo gets the call.
Just playing off the shoulder of Lake, and that ball was on. And I think if Zoe Burns had hit that with a little bit more pace, or even on the ground, just kind of bent in so that Esther Okoronkwo could run onto it, I think referee would have allowed play to continue, but because it was kind of chipped in, Lake had to stop the progress of Okoronkwo and it's pulled back.
She's replaced by number 22, Chloe Udenberg.
Sarah Stratigakis comes out of the match for AFC Toronto, and into the match Chloe Udenberg, 23-year-old from Richmond Hill, Ontario, a St. Kitts and Nevis international, alongside her sisters Carly and Kayla, comes into the match. Regan runs off the ball, Barnett curls one. Udenberg headed it backward. Right to Lee. Lee with that big assist on Holly Ward's goal against Ottawa, which evened things up in the waning time of the second half. Okoronkwo again. As Small. Okoronkwo. Okoronkwo tried the shimmy shake. Earns the corner kick.
AFC Toronto have to get the service right on this corner kick. They've certainly lacked quality in this second half. So if they're going to look dangerous, much the way they did at the beginning of the first half, it was by way of the service. You had numbers, it was well executed, but it all starts with quality service.
Fans on their feet at BMO Field. 20 minutes into the second half. Obi Barnett, far post, Okoronkwo looking for the header. Headed away by Vancouver, so out for another corner. 10th corner kick of this match for AFC Toronto. Vancouver handling the onslaught.
So Barnett's service has been lofted, and I think she needs to hit a flatter ball. And then Regan, I think, just has mishit a couple in the second half. She's trying to catch Rollins on that front post, similar to Stanton's goal, the equalizer for the Rise. But it's got to be whipped in right around the 6.
Regan strikes it in. Bit more venom on that one. And Pickett took a swing, goes out of bounds.
And that has been the call from that, or to McCaslin's right or on the left side, looking at this end of the pitch, is that in-swinger from Regan looking for Rollins on the flick on it. It almost comes off.
Chang sending a forward ball. It's a nice one to Holly Ward. She's got an edge on Burns. What a finish! Holly Ward puts the Vancouver Rise up 2-1. Holly Ward had been silent for much of this game, but she just exploded for a huge one for Vancouver.
Elation for the Rise, and the crowd stunned. Marko Milanovic stunned. But what a well-executed build and a breakout by the Rise. You saw the slight hesitation from McCaslin, the long ball. Perfect first touch by Pechurski, goes inside. Chang passes it, springs the streaking Holly Ward. That touch was critical. Inside Burns, and then with her left foot, her favorite left foot, Holly Ward, and you see a retreating Cotillard, beats her just along the ground, just off the ground, to Cotillard's left, and rides the tackle out. Unbelievable stuff from Holly Ward. As you said, Signa Butler had not affected this game whatsoever, and comes to life at exactly the right time.
Pechurski called for the foul, and Marie Soleil-Baudouin says that's enough.
just a little bit of a shove. I think it's a foul, but I think Pechersky's saying she went over a little bit too easily.
So the Vancouver Rise 2 second-half goals for a 2-1 lead over AFC Toronto, the Supporters Shield winners, as best regular season record. They've left a couple chances on the table in this match. Do they have a rebound here? Barnett goes to the far post. Okoronkwo heads it across goal. Possibly called for over the back, Amy?
No, I think it's offside. From a free kick that was a mere 5 yards from the byline, that's inexcusable. I think the wall is holding Okoronkwo onside, but she can see where they're set up. So if she's put herself offside there, that's unforgivable.
Deep throw in for AFC Toronto. Burns earns the corner kick. This has been something we talked about with Marko Milanovic and his team this season. They haven't had maybe 2 goals off corner kick set pieces. A lot of them have been in the run of play. I mean, a lot of them have been screamers, but their goals have not been dirty goals.
There's been one. It was Kayla Hansen's goal that was directly off her corner kick, and Kazaki's was the second phase.
And both of those against the Vancouver Rise. Ball bounces. Barnett gets up on Mariah Lee and wins the ball back. Pickett pushing forward. Remember, Pickett's playing in the back line.
Catches a hand to her face.
Hand to the face.
By Sam Chang, I believe.
So a yellow card showed. I'm not sure if that's to Pechersky or Chang. Will get that sorted out for you.
I think how Chang is pleading with the referee as Lee comes by to help. It's just a turning Chang as Pickett had successfully megged her. It's accidental, but a hand to face is usually a cautionable offense.
So it is Chang with the yellow card.
That's also a yellow card issued in the 72nd minute to Vancouver's number 8, Samantha Chang.
Colby Barnett, you have to put this in that corridor of uncertainty. Right in between McCaslin and that 6.
Barnett. And she hit that corridor. Headed away. Cathro. Handball called. Played quickly. Small. Up against 2 players. Small. Tried to get the cross in and goes out for a goal kick. Double cards there. AFC Toronto arguing calls. Sarah Rollins, the initial foul on Latifa Abdu.
But if it's an initial foul, why is it not called? She's shielding the ball here. Abdu's draped all over her and then hauls her down. I don't understand how that ends up being a free kick for the Rise. And caution for it, for good measure.
And Colby Barnett also cautioned as well, so a couple cards being handed out here in the second half. Toronto's got to get their composure back here.
I think they're still reeling, Signa, from conceding that second goal. We talked about responses all game long, responses to the game delay, responses to conceding the first goal, to AFC Toronto dominating this game thoroughly. And the Rise so far didn't have one, but they did at the beginning of the second half in the form of 2 goals, one the equalizer and then the go-ahead one. But now AFC Toronto, they haven't really delivered a response quite yet.
Nikki Stanton with the first Vancouver Rise goal in the 54th minute, followed by Holly Ward's stunner in the 68th minute. Gives the Rise the lead.
It was an incredible run, an incredible finish by Holly Ward, but what a team goal by the Rise.
Turns inside, edged off the ball, and the shot from distance takes a deflection and out for a corner kick.
And now that the pendulum has swung completely to the other side, where it's AFC Toronto wasteful in possession, on their heels, and Vancouver Rise able to capitalize on that, winning the ball higher up the pitch and converting on their opportunities, which is something that AFC Toronto had failed to do. They dominated the first half, but came out of it only up by 1 goal, and it's come back to bite them.
20 minutes played in this second half. Foul call top the box. Zoe Burns on the break. Closed down by Abdu. As Kaylee Hunter. Jasmine Spencer got stuck in there and won the ball back. Some hard fouls back and forth here, Amy.
It was a fluid first half, turned in, especially after the second goal by Vancouver Rise, a stop-start, chippy, physical affair. No love lost between these two sides.
Zoe Burns comes out of the match for AFC Toronto. Lauren Rowe into the match, the 21-year-old from Conception Bay South, Newfoundland and Labrador. A summer transfer signing and one of the fastest players you will see on the pitch. Speaking of fast, here's Holly Ward taking a cutback. Little casual, but AFC Toronto gets it out. Hunter working against Rebecca Lake. And quickly down to Lauren Rowe. Rowe going one-on-one. And cleared up by Lisa Paczurski, out for another corner kick. You can feel the urgency here at BMO Field in Toronto.
That's the right kind of sub from Marko Milanovic, because Lauren Rowe might be the fastest player in this league. So already dangerous on transition, and then her pace injected into this game is going to make a difference.
Barnett again, corner kick, floated. And Abdu races out with it and sliding out in the nick of time, and got the tail end of Mariah Lee.
Emma Regan. Yeah, with that great slide tackle to intervene. Mariah Lee, and just misses the ball and absolutely goes through Regan, and at that point it's Lee's knee that comes into contact with Regan's back and her head.
Toronto captain, the Iron Woman, who's played every single minute this season, isn't going to leave this game.
So Vancouver Rise's goal coming off a goal kick. So they march down the field. and get that second goal to go ahead in this game. But then a couple minutes ago, they had a free kick, Vancouver Rise, about 30 yards from their own net, and a long diagonal ball beat AFC Toronto's back line on the right. So they have to do much better defensively in holding their shape, but just that back line and holding their line.
Abdu tried to squeak it through for Ward, and Sierra Cotillard, well off her line, did well to beat Ward to the ball. Okoronkwo out for throw. Directional header to Okoronkwo. Lake wins it. And again, it's Rowe on the ball. Barnett poked it through. Coward will clear that well out of bounds. Injured Quinn joining the Vancouver Rise on the bench after going out with injury in the first half. Here come the Rise. Abdu with a turn! Cotillard kick save! Vancouver just giving Toronto fits right now. Paczerski's cross. Headed away, Rowe. Gets away, earns the foul. A tale of two halves, Amy.
Absolutely. And you mentioned it, like the onslaught by AFC Toronto in the first half. We've seen Vancouver Rise foot on the gas, do the same in the second half. And we know at this point that the patience versus urgency for AFC Toronto, you have no choice now but to maybe expose yourself at the back and throw bodies forward. And Abdu, another 2 cards for these 2 players. So we've seen this before in exactly the same foul, but Abdu wasn't booked for it. And the displeasure from Pickett, who is sick and tired of being fouled by her, but she has to maintain her composure at the back.
Well, cooler heads must prevail here. 10 minutes to play in the inaugural NSL Final. And right now, as it were, Vancouver Rise with 2 second-half goals have 1 foot in the door to winning that Diana B. Matheson Trophy. The cup. Small to Hunter, back to Small. Gets it back to Pickett. Pickett moving forward. Pathrow to Barnett. Barnett, the cross in. A slip by Chang. Lands to Okoronkwo and cleared by Holly Ward. Out for a goal kick. That AFC Toronto, the fluency that they had on attack is sorely lacking right now. It's becoming very individual in the way that they're attacking in that middle third, but especially that attacking third. Okoronkwo received the ball earlier. She had 3 bodies around her. Instead of turning around and shifting the ball over, she kept it, dribbled it. The speed of play just is not there, and neither is the execution for Toronto. Okoronkwo's there. Over her head, right to Small. Small, 1v1. Slides it through to Hunter, and it's cleared.
It's Holly Ward again coming up big in her own penalty area.
Mariah Lee smartly out to Lisa Paczerski. Will slow things down and no rush at all with just over 5 minutes to play. This is the way the Rise want to play. Keeping that possession. Pickett sliding. Ward turns on the inside, and Pickett turns right back. Back and forth.
Just given away.
Ball cleared up. Up the pitch, back to McCaslin.
Insertion of Lauren Rowe on the attack, you get that stretch. You get Vancouver Rise to back off, but you lose Small in those pockets. She's pulled wide in the position that Zoe Burns was occupying, and now Esther Okoronkwo is dropped back in more of a 10 role for Toronto.
Spencer playing over top, corralled by Cathro. To Okoronkwo, showing for the ball. Swinging the ball in. Offside flag up. Does AFC Toronto have a goal in them to send this to extra time? Haven't seen much around goal in the second half.
A disciplined, well-structured shape defensively by the Rise that has kept AFC Toronto peripheral. It's kept them very much to the outside, and we've seen them try to threaten from wide areas and lots of crosses that have amounted to very little.
Hunter chasing that down, was checking to see if she was offside. Haley Hunter, the cross in! Thought it hit a handball! And no call! Thought it skipped up and hit a hand. Morgan McCaslin on it.
So Haley Hunter initially on this ball from Pickett, it hesitated, but again, it's Jasmine Spencer on the top of the screen that holds her inside or onside. Another opportunity here closely, but as that ball gets cut back with pace by Hunter, Rowe is going for it and it gets popped up, deflected, looks to be onto the hand of Spencer. And that was the more recent chance where we've seen some beautiful first touches by Kaylee Hunter, but she'd like to have that one back.
Hunter tried to turn. Nikki Stanton won the tackle. But Emma Regan moving forward. Emma Regan, the captain. Flying Small. Small, good in small spaces. Okoronkwo the shot. No, it's into the hands of McCaslin. Since that early goal from AFC Toronto, McCaslin has been up to the task.
Her positioning has been excellent, so is her timing on coming out to claim on those crosses. She's commanded her box wonderfully well over the course of this game, not just in the second half.
Rowe called for the foul on Paczerski.
So we're going to see this possible handball again. That ball sent, it absolutely goes up off the forearm of Rebecca Lake as Jasmine Spencer slides in to thwart the connection from Hunter to Rowe. And that's Rebecca Lake closing down. That ball bounces up and hits her right forearm. I think AFC Toronto were right to claim a potential penalty on that play.
brought down by Peczurski. And the foul goes on Okoronkwo. Everyone incensed on the AFC Toronto side of things.
Just throw by Pickett, and you can see Okoronkwo has her arms hooked around Peczurski. But it's handsy on both sides because Peczurski has her hands all over Okoronkwo as well. But I think initially it was Okoronkwo with her arms up, and that's what Marie-Soleil Beaudoin saw, and that's what she called.
Peczurski out of bounds with Lauren Rowe lurking. Hunter, early cross, headed down by Cowart. And Vancouver handles that very well coming out of their own end. 5 minutes of added time in this inaugural Northern Super League Final. Player down on the opposite side of the pitch. Colby Barnett.
As Jasmine Spencer won that ball, she came through the back of Colby Barnett, but won that ball cleanly. It's been a physical affair in the second half. So a looser first touch by Barnett, and then Lee is there. Strong foot, wins that ball cleanly.
Latifa Abdu will be leaving this match, and Anna Bout will come in. 24-year-old from Cambridge, Ontario. A summer transfer signing out of Denmark. We're in added time at BMO Field in Toronto. Vancouver Rise up 2-1 on AFC Toronto. Is there one final goal here? Will we see another playoff go to extra time? Victoria Pickett moving forward as Chloe Edberg slides through to Lauren Rowe. Couldn't get the touch off.
And Edinburgh couldn't get that pass right. If she'd given Rowe the space to run onto that ball, that would have been an opportunity on goal. Instead, she passed it behind her.
And now Holly Ward. A smart touch out of her foot just to take it onto this left touch line. Toronto will converge 3 players on her to try and win the ball back, and Ward still with it. Back to Peczurski. Throw in for AFC Toronto. 2.5 minutes left in added time. Regan pumps it up the pitch. Cowart will take no chances and send it out for another throw-in. Small deflects off the foot of Chang, and Stanton tried to clear it away. It'll go out the opposite side of the pitch for another throw-in. Everyone's got to reshape though. Seeing a lot of action down the right side. Pickett. One time played into Rowe. Tried to get by Spencer. Spencer is there.
And with the exit of Abdu, the insertion of Bout, she'll come into that midfield wide on the right. So Vancouver playing more of a 4-5-1 with Lee as that target. About how important the midfield would be for both of these teams, in this second half midfield battle has been decisively won by the Vancouver Rise. And I think the exit of Stratigakis made it the field tilt even more in Vancouver's favor in terms of that dominance in the middle of the park.
A minute left to play falling in AFC Toronto's favor here. And out for a Vancouver Rise throw. Stanton sending it forward. More time ticking off the clock.
Will AFC Toronto remain winless at BMO Field?
Right now it's looking that way with very little time left on the clock. Regan will want to send this up as quickly as she can. Try and get one final chance at goal. Small wins the tackle. Regan. Okoronkwo. The cross in. And that's it. History made for the Vancouver Rise. Your first ever Northern Super League champions. A tale of two halves. 2 goals fall in the favor of the Rise. And AFC Toronto Supporters Shield winners, crestfallen at BMO Field.
I used the word stunned to describe Marko Milanovic and AFC Toronto after they conceded that second goal and the Vancouver Rise took the lead. And it was much merited, Signa. Chances that went wasted by AFC Toronto to kill the game in the first half, they didn't, and they gave the Rise a chance back into this game, but it was a second half that was dominated by the Rise. A quick turnaround. We talked about how the weather delay would influence these teams and potentially benefit the Rise, but it took into the second half for this team to come to life. And after an uneven season where AFC dominated, they had the resilience, and I think that was on display today as they came up with the moments of brilliance that swayed the game in their favor, and they are the inaugural champs in NSL.
You see the elation on one side of the pitch and devastation on the other. So dominant on the season, 15 weeks at the top of the table for AFC Toronto, but on the day where it mattered the most, it was the Vancouver Rise, who have shown their resiliency this season. At one point of the year, 5th and out of the playoff picture, coming from behind twice in their semifinal leg against the Ottawa Rapid, winning in penalty kicks. And here, 2 second half goals. Nikki Stanton, what a second half. She created the spark, didn't she?
She did. I talked about the way the team might be unsettled by Quinn's exit and everything that was lost that Quinn gives to this team off the ball, but then also in build-up, in those long switches of play, the way they quarterback the attack. But Stanton is a heady veteran, and she was a linchpin in there. She marshaled that midfield. She covered ground. She was the glue for the Rise that they needed in order to bring them to life in the second half. Unbelievable scenes here at BMO Field.
Esther Okoronkwo devastated. Marko Milanovic going around the field, consoling his players. But on the other side, see Nikki Stanton in the middle there. Morgan McCaslin, the goalkeeper, Golden Glove winner this season, kept them in it. Especially in that first half when AFC Toronto was on the front foot times 1,000.
It looked inevitable for a little bit of time in the first half that this was going to be Supporters Shield AFC Toronto. They talked about how much that meant to them because it spoke to their consistency and their dominance over the course of the season. But they wanted that here today. And then wave after wave of attack. And yes, there was a lack of clinical edge by Okoronkwo and Hunter in particular, because we know how menacing they were over the course of this season. But it was Morgan McCaslin that stood tall and kept the Vancouver Rise in this contest that allowed them to have a second half where they turned the table, they put the narrative on its ear. They flipped it on its head, and they took the game. They started to dominate the ball a little bit more and dictate terms to AFC Toronto, and they did not have an answer. They did not have a response once Holly Ward scored that go-ahead goal.
The confidence just built and built, and culminating with Holly Ward's goal. Captain Emma Regan having some words for AFC Toronto. The influential captain, the Iron Woman of the NSL. But Holly Ward with that winning goal today, 2-1. And let's go down to Rob Pizzo, pitch side.
Thank you very much, Signal Holly. You're now the answer to a trivia question. Who scored the first ever championship winning goal in NSL history? How does that feel?
It feels so good. I'm honestly slightly overwhelmed. Like, this is so cool, honestly. And I'm just so happy and honored to be a part of this team and a part of this inaugural season. So shout out to my team. I'm so proud of us and what we've done this season. So
Let's talk about your team, because you were under attack in that first half. Talk about the resiliency from this team to be able to stay in this game, stay within striking distance, and be able to pull it off in the end.
I mean, Sam said it in our huddle, like, it's never easy for us. Like, we've fought through injuries this whole season, and so many key players have, been injured this season. So I think, it's never easy, but no matter what, we're going to get the job done. So
Times like this, I'm sure you're thinking about people in your life that helped you get to this point, and this is your point to be able to thank them. Who helped you get here?
My family, my boyfriend, they're actually up in the stands today. They don't normally fly out to, these games that are far away, but they came to this one knowing it was so special. So shout out to them. I love them all.
Congratulations. Go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you.
Signa?
Awesome stuff, Rob. One of the breakout stars in the NSL this season was Holly Ward, so maybe fitting that she gets that winning goal today. That's for sure. Let's go down to Kate McKenna, who's got a special athlete alongside her.
Fans, please join us in celebrating an incredible performance. Fans, please join us in celebrating an incredible performance and an unforgettable Northern Super League final. I'm here with Cyril Dimitris, President and CEO of Toyota Canada, and thrilled to present the first ever NSL Final MVP award. Toyota, a founding partner of the NSL, is proud to support the growth of women's professional soccer in Canada, driving progress, passion, and possibility both on and off the pitch. And today, it's very much about what happened on the pitch in this incredible match. Together, we'd like to congratulate Morgan McCaslin from the Vancouver Rise on being the first ever NSL Final MVP.
Congratulations so much. Awesome goal.
Now, Morgan, you've made history twice tonight, being a first ever NSL champ and a first ever NSL Final MVP. How does it feel?
Oh my gosh, it feels so amazing. I feel like, I'm emotional right now. I just feel like this is everything we've been working for the whole year, and everything I'm working for since I was young. I just never thought this was possible when I was younger. I never got to see this representation. So to do it tonight and be historic is incredible.
Your team has been the picture of resilience all season long, and again tonight. What is it about this group that makes you unable to be counted out?
We're so mentally tough. We've been through so much adversity this year. I think we've been battle tested all year long. So when we went a goal down, we had a lightning delay. It didn't phase us, and we just kept going. So we've been through it.
Vancouver is also developing a reputation for having some of the best fans in the league who traveled here tonight. What has their support meant all season long?
Oh my gosh, it's everything. They've made up their own chants, they have flags, they flew out all the way to Toronto to support us, and we are so thankful for the Crows and for all our family and friends that came out.
Well, Morgan, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Thank you also to our partners at Toyota for helping celebrate this historic moment.
Well, Morgan McCaslin and Amy Walsh, I look at this athlete from Waterdown, Ontario, so pretty close by, kind of towards more Hamilton than Toronto, but she has been the Golden Glove winner. She had 9 clean sheets on the season, started 26 of the matches, well, now 27 as of today. Not on the NSL Best 11. Neither was anybody on the Vancouver Rise, by the way.
Yep.
Which was voted on by the players. But maybe this is a little bit of sweet redemption for somebody who's maybe been underrated all season long.
I think for this entire team, right? They came in here as underdogs. This was very much the narrative. It was AFC Toronto's to lose, not about the Vancouver Rises to go out and claim and grab. But something that Kate said there to Morgan about the resilience and not ever being counted out, like whether it was self-inflicted through poor quality or a poor run of form, or the injury crisis at the center back position that they went through this year, this team has found a way time and time again to get back to their roots, to their foundation, to the style of play that they espouse and be true to that, and to come out on top. And it's been remarkable to watch all season long, and Morgan McCaslin is a microcosm of that.
Here comes the trophy award to the inaugural Northern Super League champion. It's the Diana B. Matheson Cup, coming to be presented to the winning team, the Vancouver Rise. So there it is. A thing of beauty, as is this league formed by Diana Matheson.
Here to assist with the medal ceremony, representing the Northern Super League.
So coming up, we'll have the medal ceremony for both of these teams.
NSL founder and Chief Growth Officer Diana Matheson and NSL Vice President of Finance and Operations Joyce Sue. They will have the honor of presenting tonight's medals to both clubs. And first, they will honor the officials for today's final.
There is Diana Matheson in the middle there, next to the cup that bears her name, switching places with Joyce and President Christina Litz. The officials for today's match also receiving medals for their significant contributions this season. This has been a year of development, a year of experience for the officials as well, led by Marie-Soleil Baudouin, a 42-year-old from Quebec City, lives in Halifax. FIFA ref since 2014. Stephanie Fortin, 40-year-old from Quebec City. Camille Raymond, the 27-year-old from Quebec City. And Carly Shaw McLaren, the 4th official for today's match, from Prince George, BC, now lives in Ottawa.
And part of nourishing that valuable ecosystem around everything on the pitch and getting more women in these positions, giving them that much-needed experience.
It's not just about the player development. It's not just about the coach development. It's not just about building the fan bases, which we saw celebrated here with over 12,000 fans at BMO Field in Toronto. But it's about everybody, and about this very first domestic professional league in Canada. Led by Emma Regan, AFC Toronto, getting their silver medals, the runner-up medals. And after being on top of the table for 15 weeks, Amy, I mean, this is the pit of the stomach that you're feeling right now when you're getting these medals, but
Yeah.
it's also fuel. It's also fuel.
Oh, they are 100% already thinking about next year. I think the players are still getting their wits about them. But I mean, to go from that position of dominance, Supporters Shield winning, and rolling teams. They beat the Montreal Roses 6-1 on aggregate in semis. They looked like they were unstoppable, and that it was going to be inevitable that they were going to raise the Diana B. Matheson Cup. But it wasn't to be, because the Vancouver Rise had something to say about it. But what a tremendous and consistent performance by AFC Toronto. High quality, players like Kaylee Hunter, Esther Okoronkwo and her play in the WAFCON for the Super Falcons, and then bringing that form back to this league, highlight reel goals from back to front. Just a really impressive roster with tremendous depth on it as well. So Billy Wilson, Marko Milanovic, they'll get right back at it. Helena Rookin, their owner, like all of that group there, that you can be sure that this is going to be a team to reckon with next season.
And they did play that exciting brand of football, which I know Billy Wilson and Marko Milanovic had on their minds from the very start of the season. They recruited that way. They had the talent. They were prolific, and it just was not their day today. Plenty of chances, Amy, as you mentioned in the first half, that could have put this away.
It could have been over. It could have been done and dusted by that halftime, and maybe even before that rain delay around the 37th minute, or the lightning delay. But they failed to capitalize, and that was antithetical in the way that they've operated this year. They've had those chances and they've taken them. They have those marauding and menacing strikers in Hunter and Okoronkwo. You have the chance creator and the creative spark in Nikki Small, who for me is one of the best players in this league. Emma Regan as the heartbeat of that midfield, sets the tempo, marshals everything. And I think Croy Soto, they felt her absence today, who had really made her place in the heart of that back three. Sarah Rollins at 20 years old will just continue to get better, and so will Cody Yard as that goalkeeper. So a team to watch out for next year, certainly.
But here come the champions, the Vancouver Rise. Morgan McCaslin, Mariah Lee, Nikki Stanton and company. Wearing that precious gold medal around their necks. And Vancouver, the Tifa Abdu coming over at that transfer window from Montreal, winning a championship, contributing offensively.
A heck of a season by Abdu, who I think left the Montreal Roses on 6 goals. She remains the second leading scorer for them on the regular season. Came over to the Rise, a controversial intra-league transfer. It added some drama, it added some spice, and she brought an already potent attack for Vancouver to life. Basically that tandem between she and DiFilippo. Long before that, it was DiFilippo as the 9 that became the focal point of the attack, but the two of them together were incredible to watch, and they made that attack tick.
5 goals for Abdu since joining the Vancouver Rise. DiFilippo, 7 goals on the season. Nikki Stanton, though, with that important corner kick, which caused confusion. The first goal, Quinn injured in today's match just before the weather delay. And we wondered how Vancouver would perform without their ability to paint the pitch. And, well, quintessential leader Quinn is. And their team followed through with a victory today.
And it's McCaslin, I think, with the much-deserved MVP, but this was a team win. And you don't do it without players like your Wiley vets, like the Nikki Stantons, who understand the occasion, they understand how to manage the game state, talk to the younger players, pull them in. But players like Ward and Pachersky, they were also the sparks and the bright spots throughout this season, but Holly Ward, not influential prior to that goal, but when it mattered, she came to life.
There's Anya Heiner-Muller, of course. Shannon Weller, the injured captain, getting her medal. And Vancouver Rise getting ready to celebrate. Let's head down to Kate McKenna, field level.
Well, thank you. What a season it has been. It's one defined by passion, by talent, and moments we will never forget. The Northern Super League was built to shape the future of women's soccer in Canada and beyond. And tonight, that future is shining brighter than ever. On behalf of everyone involved, thank you to the players, coaches, officials, volunteers, and of course, all of you, the fans, who showed up, rain or shine, for making this first season of the Northern Super League something truly special. Now, it's time to honor our champions. Christina Litz will now present the Diana B. Matheson Cup to Vancouver Rise captains Samantha Chang and Shannon Weller. Congratulations to our champions, the Vancouver Rise, and thank you all for being part of this inaugural NSL season.
Vancouver Rise celebrating that Diana B. Matheson Cup as AFC Toronto staff look on. A deserving victory today. We talked about the tale of two halves, Amy, and that reset that Vancouver was able to do. The Wiley veterans, you think about Jasmine Spencer clearing a sure goal from Esther Okoronkwo off the line.
We talked about it being critical at the time, but boy, was that a game-saving moment. It allowed them, same as some of those saves by Morgan McCaslin, allowed them to still have a path, a way back into this game. And they were able to do it, and then they turned things on. It's not that they just came to life, it's that they just assumed kind of the style of play that they've always played with over the course of this season when they're in that strong run of form, is they like to dominate the ball. They like to dictate the tempo via possession. And that's what they did in the second half. And AFC Toronto were unable to cope with it because they just threw numbers forward, and they just had a couple of opportunities. They had to weather the storm as AFC Toronto, but that one goal, the go-ahead goal, the number 2 that came from the goal kick, it was maybe 5 passes, and then that goal was in the back of the net.
Let's go pitch side with Rob Pizzo and Samantha Chang.
Take a picture without me.
Oh, no. Oh, go to your break. We were going to talk to Samantha Chang, but, you know, she doesn't want to miss out on this picture, so we're letting her go. We'll talk to her in just a minute. So for now, let's send it back up to Signa.
That's the way things go. It's like hurry up and wait. We know. It's like weather delays. It's like broadcast. We know how it is. But yeah, you need to have this memorable. Take a picture.
Yeah, this is much better than an interview with Rob Pizzo.
Oh, come on. Poor Rob. Well, yeah, the Diana B. Matheson Cup. Raised to the roof by the Rise. And now I believe Samantha Chang is back with Rob. So let's go back down to pitch side.
I couldn't deprive her from being in that picture. Congratulations, that's fine. It's the only time you're allowed to just run away during an interview when you have that, but no problem. Congratulations on just a fantastic game. You know, we've been talking, the entire crew has been mentioning a tale of two halves. You were under attack in that first half. Second half was completely different. What was said at halftime? You're one of the leaders. What was said in there to really turn things around?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with the lightning break that kind of gave us a little bit of time to reset, look at the film, look what we needed to do better, how to stop them from just coming down on us, honestly. At halftime, it was just, you know, this is a final, find an extra gear. If we want to win this thing, everybody needs to put in a little bit more. So that was the messaging, and, you know, also big time moments are made for big time players, and that's what happened today in the second half.
Before the match, we talked about you being, you know, near home, friends and family, 40 members. I spoke to your dad before the game. He was actually drying off 40 seats for your friends and family because they were just soaking wet. And he's like, oh, they got to be dry for the family. What's it feel like just to look up in the stands, see so many people here cheering you on in such a special moment?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's everything. I love my family so much. I could get emotional just speaking about it. But, you know, coming up from halftime, I just looked into them in the crowd. And, you know, my brother, my dad, they just gave me a let's go. And I knew that it was time to go. And that's time for me to lead the team and do everything I can to win. And, yeah, it just, you get that extra love and support, and you know that no matter what happens, I know that they're proud of me, but of course it makes me feel happy that they can be so proud of this win too.
This is history, the first ever championship in league history. Now you can kind of take a second and really look back and let it and soak it all in, and just how thankful are you that this league exists and these women exist and your teammate exists to be able to do this and to be able to compete at this level?
It's everything. I'm so happy that, you know, Diana Matheson put in the work to get this league started. We needed this league. All of us Canadians gave us a place to come back to, come home, be close to our families, develop the next generation, inspire the next generation. So this league has been everything, and you know, it took me a second to realize what we actually did today after the whistle blew. You know, we played and we won in the first game, and now we won in the last one, and just lifting that trophy, being the first ever champion, you know, nobody can ever take that away from us. It's history tonight, just like it was on April 16th.
And I'm not going to let you take away from that celebration over there. Go with your teammates. Congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.